Hi, this is Michelle Sam from Sammy Wong's Kitchen, and today I am going to be showing you how to make a high protein, high fiber chia dessert. The history behind this dessert is basically over the summer I have taken in my parents to be summer campers with me. And the reason I did that was because I am in the fortunate space of being the sandwich generation, and now I'm starting to take care of my parents. So I have been attending their medical appointments, and I was absolutely horrified when I found out that my mother's weight was so low. Um, let's put it this way, she was under 70 pounds. And this was very alarming to me, and so I decided that for the summer at least, my husband and I were going to have them come and live with us. And since I'm so into health and good eating, I was going to bring them in and make sure that they were eating well. So they've been with me for 3 weeks, and my dad was on high blood pressure medicine, and now he is no longer taking that. I think part of it is because he is on an exercise regimen that helps. But not only that, he no longer needs to take his Metamucil, because what he takes naturally during the course of the day has enabled him to have natural bowel movement. And my mother, over the last 3 weeks, has put on 5 pounds, which is great given her condition. So what I've been doing over the past weeks is really increasing their protein intake. As we age, we need to increase our protein, but not only increase our protein, because protein is very interesting. It doesn't store in our bodies if we eat too much of it, it just passes right through. So we need to make sure that we eat sufficient protein for the day. And for older people, it's good to have that protein spread throughout the day. So breakfast protein, lunch protein, dinner protein, and even snacks, give them some good protein. And for older seniors, 75 grams to 100 grams of protein is needed for a day. And so I'm going to try to get them at least 25 grams of protein for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then add a few other protein snacks. So everything I try to do with my recipes has increased protein. This particular chia pudding has increased calories, but you can always adapt it to whatever calorie intake you need. So my mom claims that she is lactose intolerant, so I have bought her lactose-free milk with this. But in order to increase the calories and the calcium, I'm also going to be adding some powdered milk to it. And then the chia is going to be the thickener for this pudding. My mom wanted to make some chocolate pudding, and I looked at the contents of the chocolate pudding mix, and it was just a bunch of gums. And I was like, that is absolutely disgusting. You're not going to be buying that. So I want to show you how to make a high fiber, all natural chocolate pudding that is so delicious, especially if you chop some fruit on. So all you need is really some milk, milk powder, some chocolate chips, and chia seed. And then later we're going to be topping it with some chopped fruit right before serving. But it does need to set for a while in the refrigerator. So let's get started. The first thing you'll need is 2 cups of milk, and I am going to microwave this milk to heat it up. And the reason I'm going to do that is because we want to melt our chocolate as well as make the chia seeds hydrate faster. And while the milk is microwaving, just wanted to show you that for this particular pudding, I am just going to be using an assortment of glasses, which makes it really fun. So this just makes it a really interesting way of presenting your chocolate pudding. So for the last half minute of the microwaving process, add your chocolate chips to the milk, and this will help with the melting process. All right, so now we have our hot milk, and what we're going to do is stir it. We want to incorporate the melted chocolate into the chocolate milk. Then we're going to add the powdered milk. And then we're going to add our chia seeds. And then you're going to pour these into your containers that you're going to use for your serving. You pour it while it's still very liquidy and allow it to thicken directly in the containers. And I always leave a little space for the chopped fruit. It should be a 4-ounce cup, but some of these cups are a little smaller, so I'm going to end up having 5 servings. Here are my 5 containers of chia seed pudding. It normally makes 4 ounces, a little more than 4 ounces, like maybe 5 ounces per cup. But since I'm using all these interesting glass shapes, it's a little less than 4 ounces. But what I'm going to do now is allow this to rest for half an hour here at room temperature before refrigerating it. And that allows the chia seed to hydrate with the hot milk. And then once it's hydrated, then we can put it in the refrigerator. Okay, it's been about half an hour after I have poured the chocolate pudding into the glasses, and before putting it into the refrigerator, I wanted to show you the consistency. See, when we poured it in, it was pretty much a liquid, but now you can see how thick it has gotten, and it'll continue to thicken in the refrigerator so that it'll have a nice pudding consistency before serving. So now I'm going to place all of my chocolate puddings in the refrigerator. So after several hours, you'll see that the chocolate chia seed pudding is pretty much thickened and it's not liquidy at all. So now it's time to top up our pudding. So all we want to do is cut berries into bite sizes. So I'm going to cut my strawberries into dice size pieces. I'm just going to put an assortment of berries on the top of the chocolate pudding. So here's a combination of berries, some strawberries. You can also have some raspberries and some blueberries. I'm going to take some mint and just add a little bit of mint there for color. And if they want to incorporate it into their dessert, it's going to be a nice, refreshing flavor, right? And I actually have also used, this is a peppermint rather than a spearmint, and you can use peppermint as well, so any kind of mint. And then you have your chocolate chia pudding topped with fresh berries. And this chocolate chia seed pudding is very healthy. It has a lot of fiber, has a lot of calcium and protein, and so for seniors who need all that, this is the perfect dessert for them. Enjoy and bon appetit! More recipes can be found on SammyWong'sKitchen.com or social media. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks!